the sound of it.
You are watching Green Links World Entertainment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you will be tuned in when we go live.
Is it the wrong time? Yeah, 50 like, man, you know, your brokenness is hurting everybody. You wanna lash out on everybody else because your life was
different because I'm integrating spirit in the midst of the conversation.
Why do you think, Dr. Candace, so many people are hesitant? And I don't want to say so many people. Why do you think that people are hesitant to venture down this lane of healing? For some people,
and it's like now I'm not my best self because I'm burdened by everything that's going on around me. It's like now it's like it's a sense of freedom when you really get to a point where it's like now you can really help them. Mm-hmm. Now you really moving. Now you really getting your stuff together by focusing on you and getting right and doing what everybody got a gift and got a purpose here on the planet. Like
I tell you 3 times like a trilogy. Eating up his word and give me energy. Tell the filthy devil get up off of me. Saying you gotta pay.
Hello, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. If y'all were rocking with me this morning over on Facebook, I was playing a song that actually inspired me to say that. Between that and Funky Dineva, you know, I feel like me and Funky Dineva have so many similarities as far as the music we like, you know, the things that get us going. And it's funny that he sings that song as well, like that Come On Into the Room. It's a song that my mom is from the Georgia Mass Choir, and it's a song that will be playing in the back in this thing, because y'all know I say music is the background of my life. It would be playing in the background of my life on Sunday mornings as my mom and my bonus dad would be getting ready for church on Sundays. And I was talking to my sister this morning, and I was like, yeah, you know, I can remember us, the entire house would smell like perfume and cologne. Now I'm no longer, you know what, y'all? Now I can't even go live on Instagram on my Green Links World Entertainment since when? Yesterday? I was just live yesterday on here. I swear they telling me I can't go live unless I got 1,000 followers. So go ahead. If y'all have not, Rose Wellington, Wayne Butler, Prophetess P, if you have not already, please go ahead and follow our Green Links World Entertainment page on Instagram, because today they are not giving me no love. So I'll just go live on my Vet Green page. That's fine. I didn't want to have to go live on the Vet Green page because I'm really Shad's Angel Fire. I'm really working to grow these other platforms that we have, like on Instagram, the Green Links World Entertainment platform, as well as over here on Facebook and TikTok. So grand rising to those of you who are watching me over here on Facebook, over here on Instagram, over here on TikTok. Thank you all for joining. Over here on YouTube, thank you so much for joining. So what are we talking about this morning, everybody? We have quite a few things to talk about. I actually started this last night, and I was planning on going live, y'all. Good morning to you, Tariah. Thank you, Tariah Brown, Grand Rising. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Kato is on with me. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I really appreciate the love and the support. Lonnie Johnson, Taria Brown over here. Your worst critic, again, just joined me. Thank you, everybody. For those of you who are over here with me on Facebook, it continues to say slow connection. So if you are if I'm freezing at all, let me know in the comments. But also, go ahead over to YouTube. As a matter of fact, let me put the YouTube on. I'm on this doggone phone. Yeah. Go ahead and I'm learning how to use this Android. What's going on, Genesis? Thank you so much for joining this morning. So y'all, this morning we're going to be starting with some juicy entertainment stories, because I didn't want to just weigh us down with what's going on in with the economy and the war and all of that, Michelle Swanson. So I didn't want to weigh us down. So this morning, what I wanted to talk to you all about, and disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed here by Vet Green, or are not the views and opinions of Green Links World Entertainment. I truly got to get that disclaimer back on here. So what's being said, and to me, y'all, have y'all heard about Ruby Rose and this versus Katy Perry and what Ruby Rose is saying? Hey, Grand Rising Janetta Queen, thank you so much for joining me again this morning. One of my loyal supporters over here on Facebook. She hops from Facebook to YouTube as well. I appreciate that. Your worst critic, always one of my biggest supporters. Lucy Williams. Yeah, Grand Rising to you, Kato is on with me. So right now, Australian actor Ruby Rose recently accused pop star Katy Perry of groping her backstage at the 2010 MTV Music Awards. Rose says that she pushed Perry away, and the allegation is now being investigated by the Melbourne police. Now, this is a big story because, again, it revisits accountability with these celebrities. Grand Rising, Dominique, I see you out there, cuz. Thank you so much for joining. This, again, is a big story because it revisits questions about celebrity accountability, and are they being held accountable or taking accountability for the wrongs that they do to people. Now, again, this is just an allegation being made. It's allegedly, as Wendy Williams would say, allegedly. But this is being reported, and you can do your own due diligence. Go ahead and look for the story yourself, Lady Yanyo. Go ahead and look for the story yourself. What I'm reading from is MGE Entertainment, and what they're saying is that Katy Perry allegedly SA'd this person, this Ruby Rose, at Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. She also wrote on Threads that they're investigating Perry, that there's currently an investigation about this, and she revealed the assault. She revealed the assault in 2011 in a news article with news.com.au. Now, yeah, hey Lizzie May, hey Anthony Montcalm, thank you everybody. I'm good, HDHF. Thank you so much for HDHF. Thank you so much for joining this morning. So what are y'all thoughts? Now, there's a lot of allegations going on right now about SA with some of these, high profile actors and entertainers. It's been in the news. Diddy, it's been in the news. There's a documentary out right now about Bob Barker and, the allegations against him. Grand Rising, Rachel, thank you so much for joining. Rachel, when I am back in Chicago next month, we definitely have to link up. Rachel, or anyone else that want to dig into this conversation, what are your thoughts? Do you feel that if you have money, that you can pretty much get away with anything? Cato said, what I don't get is why do they wait so long to say something? Why not say something right away? This is what Cato is saying over here on Instagram. Why do people who are SA'd wait so long? Well, I can say from personal experience, Cato, that a lot of times it's because you're embarrassed because you internalize that, like, why did I let this happen? You make it as if it's your fault, even though in many instances it's not. It's not. It's something that people take advantage. People take advantage. And when you are young, impressionable, just trying to get into the industry, there's a lot of the entertainers and actors and actresses that we love and celebrate today that may have gotten into the industry on their backs or had to do something that they're not proud of just to get any type of recognition. There's movies and shows out there right now, and there's a scene in this show called The Industry, which comes on HBO Max. I love this show. In this show, it's about the industry, the trading industry, the investment industry, and what this looks like. And it's over there over in the UK. And there's a scene where one of the newer traders, like she's a junior trader, like a freshman trader, and she's in the vehicle, in the back of one of these vehicles with a high-profile client of the firm that she's working with. And this client actually hits on her, Rachel. She actually hits on her, Junior. And because, again, this is a high-value client. This is like Jay-Z. in the investment world. And she doesn't want the firm to lose the client because she's, rejecting them. So imagine you being a Ruby Rose, and again, this is just an allegation, and someone like a Katy Perry does that to you. What do you think would happen? Do you think people would be believing them? This is now going back. This happened in 2010. And it's saying that she did reveal this assault in 2011 in a featured article she wrote on news.com.au. What are y'all thoughts on that? Do you think, Kim, that people need to be more forthcoming, as Cato said, when it happens? Do you think that could possibly change how people view SA and these alleged victims that do come forward? I spoke about my own, groping, and I didn't say anything. I to this day, I have not, this guy is still walking around. And what's funny, y'all, this is how low of a self-esteem that I had, that I did not pay attention to the red flags. I didn't pay attention to the red flags when we were conversating, early on, y'all having conversations together. And I'm, we're asking each other questions. And I remember he brought up that, someone that he was dating prior had made these allegations on him. Shayoya, call me Mr. Briggs, had made these allegations against him that he had did these things. Nothing ever happened. And in my head, I'm still new to this dating thing after being married for most of my adult life. I don't know. And that's still no excuse. So I just took it for what it was. This is why I say, y'all, experience is the best teacher. As my mama, Sister Green, always said, experience is the best teacher. If anyone is over here on Facebook, if you can do me a favor and go to our YouTube page and post the link. Big Mike, if you are still over here on Facebook, if you can post the link to YouTube over here on Facebook, because I keep seeing that it says slow connection. So I do not think that it's working very well over here on YouTube. But going back to what I was saying, so that was a red flag. But again, like, I did not know to take it seriously. Sometimes, y'all, we get into a situation and we think, oh, that couldn't happen to me, or oh, that person wouldn't do that to me. But yeah, many times they will, and they will, and they will, and it did happen. I say that to say, y'all, all of these years later, this has been what? This was 2014, 2015. This has been, over 10 years now that has happened, and still have yet. Is it right? No. Did I feel that the people wouldn't believe me because I chose to make the decision to go there and have dinner and all of that, and not thinking that something would happen? Yeah, that's where our minds be, Cato. Truly, that's where our minds be. That's many times it's hard for people to believe that these things are being done. A lot of times the victim is blamed. Like, well, why did you do it? Well, why did you go there? Well, didn't he or she say something? It happens like that, it happens like that. So moving forward, y'all, U.S. billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has proposed a $64 billion purchase of UMG. That's Universal Music Group. Everybody. Do y'all see all the consolidation that's going on right now? And again, I'm reading this from y'all. Do your due diligence, King. Do your due diligence. I'm reading this from, what is this website? globalentertainment.com. So they're saying that Ackman's Pershing Square Capital Management has its sights set on the biggest music company in the world, but will have to compete with French billionaire Vincent Bolloré, who owns a controlling 28% stake in UMG. Now, a federal court in New York has ruled that Live Nation operated. I'm moving on to other stories, y'all. That $64 billion official spirit is more than Disney paid for Fox's entertainment assets. Y'all do know that Disney owns Fox, and it would give Ackman a huge slice of the world's biggest music catalog. I see this as a big bet that streaming and AI generated music will make UMG even more valuable. Now, I don't know if any of you have been paying attention to what is going on in the industry. This whole mix up, like everything's being split apart and being placed under these umbrellas. There's not that many umbrellas. There's about what, 4 or 5 of them, with all of the other, like Paramount and all of them sitting up under there. Because again, this world is being ran by only a group of people, y'all. We may think that. Thank you so much for that, Rachel. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, CC, Grand Rising to you, cuz. We may not realize it, but this world truly is Tiffany's 2. This world really is Kata Crawford being ran by, a very select family. So what does this mean? I was having a conversation about, the music industry and media in itself. I spoke last week about TikTok going into radio. Now, many of you may not know that TikTok now has a radio station. You can go to iHeart and you can listen to TikTok radio. Now, we also have things like this 64 billion music played by Bill Ackman. What are people doing? And I also watched a story. I looked at a podcast with Lear Cohen, and he was talking about YouTube music and what's going on over there. A lot of these media companies right now, everybody, they're shaken and they're a little bit scared because how we consume our information is totally different than what it looked like 5-10 years ago. Many people, when you wanted to know how to do something, you would go onto places like YouTube, right? And you would see the video. Hey, I see you out there, Big Mike. Many of you would do that. Well, what's happening with the evolution of AI and more people going to things like ChatGPT and Gemini to get those how do I do this answers, people are moving away from YouTube to get those answers because once I did it the other day myself. I wanted to know how to make something. I can't even remember what it was. I went to YouTube. I'm like, man, I ain't got 20 minutes to watch this video. I don't have the time. So what did I do? I went over to ChatGPT and asked them. I got the answer in seconds, step-by-step tips and tricks with references, because I always say, okay, give me the references also. I'm that teacher. Give me the references. Don't be just telling me anything. Give me the references. So as our eyes are being diverted to other places, as well as our ears, these media companies are having to try and keep up with what's going on. They need to know, what are our users, our consumers, our customers doing? So I think that Bill Ackman's play for UMG, I think it might be something, the movers and shakers are going to be moving and shaking. They're going to be moving and shaking. He's going to have to compete. All of these media conglomerate companies, they're going to have to compete, Maria Rubin. They're going to have to compete. Now, Ticketmaster and Live Nation right now with this monopoly ruling. So a U.S. federal court declared Live Nation and Ticketmaster to be monopolies. Really? We didn't know this. We didn't know all of this. The ruling suggests that the merged company has abused its power in ticketing and live events. They have. Some of these prices, y'all, can be ridiculous. Cato says 64 billion is light compared to the artists that's under UMG, such as Drake, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. He will control the music world. Yes, Cato, you are with me. You are with me. That is exactly what I was getting at. I'm going to put a pause to Ticketmaster and Live Nation, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Because this is kind of a monopoly, right, Kato? When you think about who the pie of UMG, I'm going to take a look, and y'all can do it with me. If you all have Google, that Google icon, do me a favor and go to Google. There's an AI mode. When you go into Google, and I'm going to do this myself. As a matter of fact, let me just share my screen so you all can see what I'm talking about, because I really want you to understand how to get some of this information. So right now, Big Mike B4L, if you are with me over here on YouTube, you'll see that I'm sharing my screen. So the only thing I'm going to do is go into Google and I'm going to say, what percentage of the music industry does UMG own? And then I'm going to take it a step forward because I don't want to just know this. It's going to give me this. But remember I told you all about the AI mode yesterday? I'm going to go right here because I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. I want to dig a little bit deeper. So Google AI mode, Gemini is saying, and you can see it here, UMG currently controls approximately 31.7% to 33%. Now think of a pie. Think of a pie, everybody. Hey, Miana, thank you so much for joining this morning. Because of the global recorded music market as of 2024-2025, as the largest of the big three record labels alongside Sony and Warner, UMG holds a dominant position across various sectors of the industry. Now imagine, so what happens? So let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, what happens? What happens if Bill Ackman purchases UMG? Now, this is kind of general, Ron Davis. This is really general. But again, it will provide us with some background. So in April 2026, which I just said, Bill Ackman's Pershing Square Capital Management made a $64 billion non-binding offer to acquire and restructure Universal Music Group. If the purchase is finalized, the following structural and financial changes are proposed. Now I can go into Reuters and it'll talk about that, which I normally do. So what does this look like? And what does this look like for the artists as well, Miana? Because again, right now, a lot of these artists are fighting just to get the money that they should get based on their intellectual property. That's their property. That's them. IDK, Devontae, that's them. And they're trying to get the money because we talked, a while ago, a few years ago about Spotify and the percentage of a penny that the artists get. It's literally a percentage of a penny. Hey, Grand Rising to you, Shady Gray. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Now, how do you break down a penny, especially in the 2000s, anything? How do you break down a penny? You really can't, but this is something that they want the artists to do. The plan includes selling UMG's multi-billion-dollar stake in Spotify as well. Again, this kind of looks like a monopoly to me. And it also gives the corporation more leverage. Hey, Lady Lynn, thank you so much for joining this morning. This also gives the corporation more leverage to do some messed up stuff with the artists. Now, moving into Ticketmaster and Live Nation, if you all have noticed, Ticketmaster and Live Nation, I don't know how this was allowed to happen, but it happened. And fans have complained about the sky-high fees for years. So I'd really love to hear whether you think that this will make hey, Real Brooklyn Dreams, thank you so much for joining this morning. Do you think that the ruling saying that Ticketmaster and Live Nation abused its power in ticketing will cause some of the ticket prices to go down? Y'all, the ants are out already. Ooh, you have to be careful when the ants come out. The ants come out every April. Grand Rising to you, Bam Fam. Grand Rising. I'd like to know your thoughts on UMG, what we were talking about, and Bill Ackman's $64 billion play on purchasing it, as well as as an artist, Bam Fam, Ticketmaster and Live Nation had merged and the ticket prices have gone up. Do you think that with this ruling that it has been abusing its power with these ticketing and live events, that the ticket prices will finally go down, which will cause, hopefully more fans to be able to enjoy the people that we enjoy, such as Bam Fam, such as I'm looking at these Usher and Chris Brown tickets. Yeah, I really want to go. I really want to go, but the tickets can't be like an electric bill, y'all. And it's looking like my utility bills. These prices. It's looking like these utility bills. Anywho, y'all. What else is going on? There's some new music that's dropping. Have you listened to Kanye West's new album? I started listening to it. I have not gone through the entire album, but the one takeaway that I did get from Kanye's album is that it feels like from the very first song on that album, Bully, it was like, man, Kanye's back. And I'm not the only one who felt this. I had played the album for Big Mike. Well, some of the album. We started listening to it together. And he said the same thing. Now, mind you, I hadn't said anything to him. I was like, just, take a listen to the album. And he was like, oh, this sounds like the old Kanye. And I said, right? It really does sound like the old Kanye is coming back. Bam Fam and Bam Fam is an artist. He said the tickets are very expensive as well. Would you have you, one, listen to Kanye's new album, and two, if he put more shows out there, Freddie, would you be willing, Grand Rising to you, Kentoya, would you be willing to go to one of the shows, knowing that these prices are what they are? Listen, y'all, I'm looking at the Cincinnati Music Festival, and I'm like, okay, I really want to see Mary J. Blige. She is my favorite, other than K. Michelle. But these tickets in Vegas, y'all, I just don't want to have to rob Peter to pay Paul to try and get to a concert. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully my finances are financing okay, and I can go to that Cincinnati Music Fest, because I'm looking at them tickets, and it's like $66 for that day, to see that. So I don't know, y'all. Again, the tickets are mad expensive right now. Mad expensive. Let me see. So indie duo Vinted Veneer dropped their single Block Splitter. The band Mannerism released something I Can't See. And artists like Gypsy Lee and Matt Corby also have new songs out. I believe it was, did Rick Hyde? I feel like Rick Hyde dropped something new. Who else? Molotov Mile is supposed to be dropping new music. I'm talking about artists here in the Buffalo area. Rick Hyde definitely has a new song out there that I was rocking. It's a collaboration. Some people, Black Spy, are dropping collaborations, which are nice as well. Let me see. Rachel said, I believe that hurt people. Okay, we're going back to the SA incidents are the most unreported incidents, just as you said, because we talked earlier, Kentoyo, just about SA and how underreported it is. And I talked about my own raping and how I didn't report it. I did not report it. But going back into the music, who are you all listening to? Bam Fam said new music, Divine and Debonair, featuring Joel Ortiz. Bam Famming out now on all platforms. Salute to Justin Newman, Sydney the GOAT. Yeah, salute to Justin Newman. He's definitely in the know. He's been rocking. I've seen Justin name popping up, or Justin in different things that I'm a part of for the last couple of years. So that's definitely good to know. Who else has new music out? Who are you all listening to right now? And is it independent, or are you listening to mainstream? On the mainstream aspect, Mariah the Scientist, y'all. Like, come on with the R&B. Come on with the R&B. I just love her. I just love her music. She is somebody that I'm like, man, like, why wasn't I listening to her before? She is, her music is so phenomenal. And and the way she sings it, you can tell that it's coming from some experiences that truly shaped her. The one song she talks about, basically, why can't I just love who I want to love? I know that's right, honey. I know that's right. Euphoria is also returning, as well as the Housewives. Who's tapped into the Housewives? I have not tapped into the Housewives yet, y'all. I have to, because my girl K. Michelle is on there, and she is my second fave. The only reason my eyes are even going back to the Housewives is because K. Michelle, the queen, is on there. Okay. And bringing up K. Michelle, she did, let me roll into this because this is kind of, I actually was going to do a separate video on this, but she was recently on the Jason Lee show, the Jason Lee podcast. And do any of you watch the Jason Lee podcast? Well, if you haven't, that's fine. Bam Fam said Prince Killer new track with Jada Kiss, New York King to Buffalo Go, out on all platforms as well. Bam Fam, do me a favor if you can, put the link to the YouTube videos in here so that everybody can get to them on here as well. I think I may have listened to that Prince Killer track with Jada Kiss and I liked it, and I feel like it's in my playlist already. Kato said, Turk from Cash Money, his music is crazy. He take you back to when his addiction took over his life. Man, Kato, what was that artist that you like? Was it AZ that you like? I started listening to their music. Man, in the Buffalo area, one of the people that I met through Kato actually, Keyway, man, his voice is crazy. His voice alone, like he has such a unique voice, and his music, I'm just, man, y'all, I'm rooting for any and everybody who is ready to take their craft seriously and use that gift like Keyway, use that gift, his music, his voice, his voice. I think at one time his name was Keyway on Facebook, but yeah, Doughboy Key. I think his voice is kind of like this, y'all, and it just commands the room. It's so commanding. So when he recently was released, and I'm hoping that he really does get into his music bag, because he's definitely one of the ones that I paying attention to. Bam Fam is putting some music in here. He said, L Biz Never Cried EP, John Blazin. Thank you so much for that, L Biz. I keep hearing that name, L Biz, pop up. Johnny Blazin, I killed. No, thank you. No co-hosting on here right now. But thank you, everybody, for that. Who else should we be listening to? And it can be mainstream. It can also be not mainstream. Who else? Conway recently put out he's collabing with somebody. What is the name of that song? And it's in my playlist already. Y'all, who was that? I'm gonna go over here. I can't see because this is not my playlist, but there's a lot of great music out there and so many great things. I'm loving the events that's coming out, especially here in the 716. I do want to say, y'all, can y'all please start collabing together, because some of these events y'all be having on the same day, and I be wanting to go to all of them, but I can't financially support all of them, but I can support, one here and there every so often. Like this past weekend on the 18th, there were like 3 events that I wanted to go to, but I had not been to Divine the Rapper's event, and I just love her. She's truly a gem, so I wanted to make sure I support her. But I also missed the beautiful Lola and Marquez Blue event. I'm hoping that they have another event in May, because they've been doing this since January, March. In March, I went to the green event, which was off the chain. Some of these events, the people that are doing these events truly are really good people. That's why I like to support. And it was off the chain. Marquez always have a beautiful show, and him and Lola together always do a really good job together. Bam Fam said, YouTube Bam Fam, hit the 83 videos, like, share, and comment. Yeah, put the links here, everybody. Hey, IMH Collection, thank you so much for joining this morning. Now let's talk about Euphoria and some of these shows that are going on right now. Like I mentioned, the Housewives of Atlanta. I have not gotten a chance to watch the new show yet, but I will be tuning in. I talked to y'all about Baddies yesterday. I'm actually going to be doing a separate show on that because I have some things to say. I know it's that ratchet TV for some of you, but y'all, I grew up in a ratchet way, so I like the ratchet television. Yes, Kato, tell me Fetty Wap did not come home and start running. Like he jumped off the porch and started running. Did y'all see him on the Radar show? Fetty Wap is like he never left. It's like he never left. Fetty Wap is definitely doing this thing. I was pleasantly surprised that the new music that he's putting out is really good. It's like he was able to keep up with the times. He was able to come home and continue with his craft. And I think that isn't he charting right now? I feel like Fetty Wap is charting right now. Let me see Fetty Wap's new album. Definitely is game changing. Game changing. Who else? I said Conway. Conway is one of my favorite artists coming out of the 716. One of the reasons being is because I've listened to how well he can go from, the beats. Man, when I say making love to the music, like I feel like Conway is one of those rappers that can make love to the beat. Like he truly, one of my favorite songs that he did with Jid is called Scatterbrain. And when you listen to that song, it's like he kept up with the beat, like he never fell off and still was able to sound like himself. He did not sound like nobody else. Some artists, when I hear their music, I'm like, man, that would sound better to me, my ear, if you kind of slowed it down a little bit. For instance, Flex God right now, coming out of the 716, the music that he's making right now, I feel like kind of, it makes the way his voice is and the music he's doing now, it makes it a lot better for me to listen to, right? Because it sounds like, okay, this is where you need to be. That's like Drake trying to do a hardcore rap. It doesn't sound right to me. It's just, and maybe I'm just being biased, Mitenberg Massacre. Maybe I'm just being biased. But everybody's voice is not made for every tune. But if you have that voice that can just make love to the beat and you can stay on top of it, you can get up under it, you can hit it from the side and you still sound like yourself, I mean, that's a win-win. But if you have to kind of play around with some beats just because of your voice, just because you may not have that tune. Some people out here are really tone deaf. And when you're tone deaf, for me, you hear it in the music. But if you switch it up a little bit, like this one song that right now Flex God has out, I'm like, yes, like that's going with his sound. It sounds, and it's a 420 friendly song. There's another one that he did some months back, and I'm like, yeah, lean into that, y'all. Lean into that. Black Kate Moss, I can tell that she's a writer, and I love what she's writing, and I can hear the lyrics, but also you have to make sure that the music itself sounds good because it throws it off. It throws it off. Oh, thank you so much. We love you too over here, Bam Fam. My goal is to get Divine and Debonair on the couch because they are people who truly they did it for Buffalo and inspired many people who are right now. Hey, Stacks the Guy inspired many people right now who are in music. And I thank you for that, Bam Fam. And I want to get that story out on the Vet Green show because there's so many layers to what it was that you all had to deal with just to even do what you all had done, right? Stacks the Guy, who are you listening to right now? I was talking about how some people I feel like make love to the beat. Like they can truly, hey, Sherry, they truly make love to that beat. And then you have others that can't stay on top of the beat. They're falling off or the beat is overpowering them and you can't even hear them. That's aggravating as well. Kato said, original Hot Boy Turk is another person that I should be listening to. Tag these people because what I'll do, hey, Rhonda Turner, hey, cuz Grand Rising for coming on this morning. Thank you so much. What I normally do is I'll go back to the show and if the links are there, I start going down the rabbit hole and start listening to the music. So if there's anybody that I have not heard, like I found out about 80 No Excuses from the 716 music review with G6er. I think, so I went down the rabbit hole. Of 80 No Excuses music. And I'm like, man, like he has that sound that I was listening to back in the the 90s and the 2000s, that sound, and I feel like it's lost, but it's also coming back. It's also coming back. Now, the owner of Say Cheese TV had something to say. I guess he had gone into New York City, which is downstate from Buffalo. We're actually closer to Canada here in Buffalo. So, anyways, the owner of Say Cheese TV, and I'm going to see if I can find it here because yeah, hang on. Unc, I'm recording my show. What's going on? Everything all right? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. I got it. Some calls I have to answer just because anything could be happening. That was my Uncle Daddy right there, Robert. Okay, back to what I was saying. I'm going to see if I can find this video where he was speaking and he was talking about the music in New York, and it's not even sounding like New York anymore, Ashley. That the music in New York is not even sounding like New York. And I went in the chat and I was like, well, maybe you're not in the right place. Maybe you're not in the right place because here in Buffalo, the music is sounding very, very good. Very good. Let me see if I can find the video. Let me see if I can find the video. And I'll play it. And then we can get into it. You all tell me what your thoughts are about what the owner of Say Cheese TV had to say about the music. Oh, no, I really can't stand when it's probably on my other page. So let me see if I can find it. Well, basically he was saying like the sound is not there. They're sounding like they're from down south. They're not even sounding the same. I was asking about new music. Steezy Baby, Lovely Aiko. What? Stacks to God. She, No Excuses. Definitely Bandman Wayne. Definitely. The one I have not heard of is Steezy Baby. But all the other three, definitely. I got Bandman Wayne in my The Vet Green Experience playlist as well. And Lovely Aiko or Aiko, I'm not sure how she pronounces it, gives me Captivated C. I want that young lady to get up out of Buffalo immediately, because her talent is just so phenomenal. And I'm not sure if she's a writer yet, have not even met her yet, but I do have her music. All of the music that she has out there, I have in my playlist because she's that good. Lovely Aiko is that good. All of the music that she has on YouTube or the music that she has on Apple, I have in my playlist. Okay. Some people are just that good. She said the sound is out. And yeah, I'm going to probably get off of Facebook, everybody. If y'all can do me a favor and head on over to YouTube for me, because for some reason, Facebook is not giving me any love. So moving on, everybody, let's talk about this ceasefire extensions. These ants, oh my God, I gotta go get some stuff. I don't even have any food in this room, but they're out right now looking for food. So if y'all find Miles Carter, Grand Rising, if you see any ants, y'all just get rid of them. Get rid of them because they are out searching for food. And if they find that they have food, that they can go back and find food, you're going to see a slew of ants everywhere. Now, if y'all want some 420, if y'all want that, y'all might be able to find that, but you ain't going to find no food in here. Kato said that's what made Griselda blow up fast. They brought that old New York sound back. Yes, Conway, Westside Gun, Benny the Butcher. Absolutely. And when I think about it, and it's funny because Big Mike is from Brooklyn, and he even said that right now, Conway, Benny the Butcher, Westside Gun, Rick Hyde, Street Soprano, Jay Skis, all of those guys are the ones that's truly holding up this music, that New York sound. What aggravates me, y'all, about this is that there are people like Papoose. He was on Drink Champs, I believe it was. And his reasoning behind not respecting, I guess, what is being done in places like Buffalo. Of course, yes. Please recommend a song to me, to Grain. Places like Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Troy, Rome, Olean, places like that that are still in New York is because that sound was not born in those places. But what I feel like Papoose need to understand is that that sound actually introduced many of us to this beautiful world called hip hop, rap. That's what happened. It influenced many of us. So what happened, Papoose? I understand that you may feel a way that there's nobody in in the actual place that hip hop was born, hip hop and rap was born, but you have to understand that the influence is something that y'all should be proud of. Don't be upset because you don't have people that's doing that type of music in the city or near the city, because John Jiggs is there. I think he's in Long Island. John Jiggs is there. It may not be one of those boroughs, but John Jiggs is there, and his music sounds just like something we used to listen to back in the days. He still has that sound. But please do not forget that all of that right now is being held up by the people here in Buffalo. It is. They may not live here, but they're from the 716. Right? Louis Maine LaFleur music, Grand Rising to you, Grand Rising to you. It's being held up by on the shoulders. And I feel like that if you put, Complex. What did y'all think about Keeping Up with the Music? That list that they put out. I was so happy to see that not only was Conway on there, but Benny the Butcher as well as Westside Gun. They made the list. They better have been on that list. I feel like they should have been way higher. What is going on? I'm still recording. He's probably at the house. And what? Okay. Okay, y'all. All right, y'all. Big Mike, if you are watching, can you grab that book and hand it to Uncle Rob out the door for me, please? If you are watching. Cato said New York people are so biased. They are so biased, and it's so funny because, like I said, Big Mike is actually from Brooklyn, born and raised, well, North Carolina to Brooklyn, but he was raised primarily in the city, in those boroughs, and he loves the music here in Buffalo. He supports the music here in Buffalo, and he does not understand why. Now, he's not an artist. Maybe it's an artist thing, but he does not understand why there's so much negativity against what's being done outside of New York. Like, most of what we emulate is coming from the city. I can remember being a young girl and those big bamboo earrings that came from the city. That came from the city. Like, that influence came from the city. Much of we still go shopping into the city. The influence is there, right? So if the goal is supposed to is to inspire, influence, and enlighten, that's what happened. So don't get upset about that, Blue Bango. Don't get upset because that happened. I think it should be celebrated that a sound was able to be created and influence generations and continue to influence generations to come. Anyhow, y'all, moving on. We do need to talk about this ceasefire extension. So President Donald Trump is extending the U.S. ceasefire with Iran indefinitely, saying he will hold our attack until Iran's leaders present a unified peace proposal. Now, what do y'all think this means? Do y'all think that this, thank you. Do you think that this means that he realizes that this war that's going on did not have to happen? And now he's kind of backpedaling, trying to get people to, view him in a better light, because I'm talking about President Donald Trump. His approval ratings were already down. These approval rates, the approval ratings now are even lower, are even lower. So he's really trying to get the people back on his side. But President Donald Trump, again, we have to pray for our president. What I don't think you realize is that the reason why many of your people are not on your side is that we were already struggling. And now we are being forced to struggle even more. There's going to be people that are in the grocery store trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to rob Peter to pay Paul a little harder and still be able to get to work? Because I got to buy food. I got to make sure that we have the basic necessities in the house. But at the same time, I got to get to work. The food prices are already hurting my pocket. And now these gas prices are going to hurt my pockets even more. And let's not talk about what's going on in the property industry. Whether you're a renter or you have a mortgage. If you're a renter, you probably are seeing sky high rocketing prices, and you're like, I'm being forced out of this place because I can't afford to live here anymore. And then you also have people that may not be able to afford their mortgages right now because, again, jobs are being taken away. And people got over 300,000 women were laid off in government. So Trump says he will continue the blockade. I hate when he does this. He's going to continue the blockade, but at the same time, he ordered the ordered the Navy to continue blockading Iran's ports. Iranian officials have called the blockade an act of war, y'all. So they're saying this is not right. This is not right. And tensions remain high as Iran seized foreign cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz. My take on this, Trump is trying to look like a peacemaker while keeping his foot on Iran's throat. Now, let me know what you all think about this. Do you think that he's trying to look like a peacemaker? Because again, his approval rating is not that great right now. Let's look at what Trump's approval rating is right now. And I'm going to go back into Google. And ask, what is Trump? Hey, Kanisha, Grand Rising to you, cuz. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Thank you. And if there's anything that you all saw in the news that you would like to discuss here on the Vet Green Show, let me know in the chat. I am Callie Hendricks. Let me know in the chat. And as you all are coming in, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you are over here on social media, such as TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, give me a follow. Go ahead and hit follow so that you will know when we go live. If you are over here watching with us on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you are watching with me now, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you are watching with me later, I appreciate the support. And let me know where you are watching from, because I like to know where we are reaching. Just sent this song to New York King to Buffalo Go. Okay, thank you so much for that. Moving on, everybody. Again, my take is that President Trump is probably trying to get his approval ratings up, because right now it's not looking good. As of April 23rd, President Donald Trump's average job approval rating is approximately 38.5, while his disapproval rating stands at roughly 58.3. Keep in mind that, yes, he is our president, but he is also a human being. He is a male here in the U.S., so I'm sure that bothers him. This reflects a recent decline to some of the lowest points of his second term, largely driven by public dissatisfaction with the ongoing war with Iran and its impact on the economy. Particularly, y'all, these doggone, hey, Don Lemon Grand Rising, these doggone rising fuel prices. Like, it does not help that people, again, were already living check to check. Many of us living check to check. And now we're being forced to rob Peter to pay Paul, which means that we're going to see crime go up, y'all. And I hate to say that, but we are going to see crime go up, because when people are already struggling, trying to make ends meet, and they're forced to try and figure out a way to feed their family, sometimes you go to what you know. And if you came from the streets, if you grew up in the streets, you go back to the streets, because that's the fastest and easiest way that you know. And I do not want people to have to go to the streets, Camacho. I do not want people to have to go to the streets. And that's my fear with what's going on in this world, everybody. That is my fear. And it also, it also makes me weary to think that we have so many people in these higher positions that are so far removed away from these citizens that they are supposed to be taking care of, that where we are right now is not a year from now, y'all. We're still going to be in this thing. So again, I just want you all to just be mindful of how we are spending our money, where we are spending our money, and get to those polls. Get to those polls. Now, if there's not any other time to think about how important it is for us to vote, now is the time, Shadia. Now is definitely the time. So right now, there's also these tariff refund threats. In the April 21 interview, Trump praised companies like Apple, Amazon, Target, and Walmart for not seeking refunds on tariffs the Supreme Court deemed illegal. He warned that he will remember. This is sad when you have someone in such a high office pretty much threatening people. If you go against me, I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember if you go against me. So he's going to remember those who file refund claims and describe companies seeking refunds as the enemy. You can go on Reuters.com to see that. He also derided the court as weak and said he will impose new tariffs regardless. Like, he's really gone rogue. And this is being allowed to happen, Anna. And I just cannot fathom how this is being allowed to happen. But it is. This is classic Trump. Rewards loyalty, punish dissent, and keep tariffs as a political weapon. This is what's going on. This is what's going on, y'all. And this is what was voted into office. And I know people are backpedaling, saying this is not what I voted for. It is absolutely what you voted for. I think we have to become realistic in this thing. Key Dollar, Grand Rising to you, Key Dollar. Another one of my favorite artists coming out of the 716. I think we need to be accountable, and we also need to be mindful, because this is what happens. This is what happens when you are so biased and you're so bigoted that you don't want a woman in office. Twice we had the chance. Y'all know Hillary won that doggone election. Y'all know she did. But because we still have people in office who are so far removed from the reality, and they have tunnel vision, and they can only see what's there in front of them. They can't see anything else. So that means that we, the American citizens, the regular, everyday, schmegular people, do not matter. This is what's happening. And we continue to let these people just be in office and do anything, Dee Dee. We continue to do this by not going to the polls, by not supporting those people who actually support things. Humanity, Dee Dee. Humanity. I get that when we vote for our own interests, but sometimes I feel that y'all, people are just voting just because you have a bias. So here we are now because of that. Aid Milton, here we are now because of that. Now, the Justice Department under Troop has also sued the Southern Poverty Law Center for wire fraud and money laundering, alleging it's misused millions to pay informants and far-right groups like the Ku Klux Klan and KKK, y'all. Critics say it's an attempt to intimidate a group that tracks hate groups. Now, this SPLC lawsuit, I'm going to read into it, and this is being reported by Al Jazeera. I like Al Jazeera News, because it gives me a different opinion, right? So Trump administration sues the SPLC on fraud charges. The civil rights organization has long been a target for conservative activists who object to its characterization of certain right-wing groups. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center in the United States has been indicted on federal fraud charges after acting Attorney General Todd Blanche accused the civil rights group of improperly raising millions of dollars to pay informants to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan and other far-right groups. The Department of Justice alleged that the law center defrauded donors by using their money to fund the very ideology it claimed to be fighting. It pointed to payments of at least $3 million between 2014 and 2023 to people affiliated with the KKK, the United Klans of America, the National Socialist Party of America, and other far-right groups. The SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred, Blanche is saying. Cato said, in these times, in order to get by, we have to create our own businesses. I agree. So what are y'all thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Critics say it's an attempt to intimidate groups that track hate groups because that information was not always being tracked. And the reason why we needed tracked, y'all, so that we can compare it from year to year to see if it's declining or if it's declining or if it's continuing to increase and why. So this information needs to be tracked to make these people be accountable, to hold these people accountable. But they're saying that it shouldn't be tracked. So what are y'all thoughts on that? And if you are watching with me later, let me know your thoughts on it. Because again, y'all, we need this information tracked. People have been getting away with BS for years based on many reasons. And one of the reasons is that, one, we didn't have cameras. We didn't have video cameras, back in the days. And two, because it's not being tracked. So if it's not being tracked, you can't hold people accountable. You want it tracked because there may be particular areas. There may be certain areas, demographic areas that are more, they have more cases of this. So we need to track this information, y'all. We need to track this information. The other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about this energy crisis in the economy. Now, the Iran war has sent oil prices soaring and pushed the IMF to slash its 2026 global growth forecast to 3.1%. The IMF warns that if the conflict drags on, global growth could fall to 2.5% and the world could flirt with a recession. Are we already in a recession, Mighty Eagle? It feels like it. It definitely feels like it. And central banks might need to raise rates again. This is the economic backdrop, y'all, to Trump's decisions. This is what was voted for. High gas prices, stagnant growth, and war-related uncertainty. Now, remember when President Trump got into office and he was talking about these changes and what was going to happen, he said that it's going to hurt for a while. He told us that. I don't know if y'all were listening, but I was listening. He said it's going to hurt for a while. What I feel like did not fully, I guess maybe it didn't sink into some people. Maybe some people didn't absorb it because they thought that they had that skin privilege. So maybe some people didn't absorb it, or some people, because they've been pacified for so long that they didn't think that it would pertain to them. Maybe they didn't absorb it, but I did. So now I'm looking like, okay, here I am, Bessie, my 2007 Chevy Impala that my Uncle Daddy gave me. She used to only cost me about $41, $42 to fill up. I tell you no lie, that gas says $60.58 the other day when we went to fill Bessie up. I was sick to my stomach. And then I thought to myself, well, Vet, it's a good thing that your 6 kids are grown and gone right now, because imagine, you know what that $60 did to your pocket. Imagine if you also had to figure out Gianna Grand Rising to you, love. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Brooklyn, imagine, Tracy, if not only you had to fill the car up to get from A to Z, but you also had to fill them kids' bellies up as well. And the stamp's not stamping anymore, for the love of gig. The stamp's not stamping anymore. So what do we do? What do we do? We keep on moving, y'all. We keep moving, James Brown. We keep on moving because that's at this point, that's the only thing that we can do. We can't lay down and just let it happen. I think it's time that we get up. And like Cato said over here, in these times, in order to get by, we have to create our own businesses. Right, Tracy Robinson, Roberson, Grand Rising to you, Queen. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We have to create our own businesses. I agree. I agree. GMA loves to cook. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Now, let's talk about the U.S. versus China. The U.S. long led the world in AI, but China has nearly erased that gap. China is not playing with us, y'all. Didn't they say we've been here for 5,000 years? Y'all infantile to us. Didn't they say that? Do y'all watch Don Lemon? Because the Don Lemon show always talks about what's going on. That's where I get my politics from, y'all. Between Don Lemon and Roland Martin. That's where I get my news and information from. So if y'all have not checked out Don Lemon and Roland Martin over on the Black News Network, Don Lemon has his own show now. Former journalist with CNN, one of my faves. I used to love when him and Chris Cuomo went back and forth during COVID, during the first election in 2016, y'all. The first election. Anywho, Chinese model now go toe-to-toe with US models, talking about AI models. In March 2026, the best Anthropic model only outperformed China's model by 2.7%. China leads in research and publications, citations, and robot installations, while the U.S. still produces more patents. So while the U.S. is producing more patents, China is leading in research publications. Tracy said China is one of the most powerful and advanced countries in the world. Yes, Cato said China can be AI real big problem for us if it goes there. I agree. I feel like as a whole, we do not understand just how big China is and the capabilities that they have. I spoke yesterday about one of the reasons that we may be in this war is because the Chinese were willing to work with the Africans. They were willing to not just give them food and clothing, as they're like, we US, we thank you. America, we thank you. But we're done with these clothes and food. Like, we need to be able to be self-sufficient. Help us become self-sufficient, Dwight Allen. And they're like, no, we don't want you to be self-sufficient, because if you are self-sufficient, then you will realize the power that you truly have. If your mind wasn't holding all of these things that were programmed into you through television and radio and how we absorb our media, then maybe you too would see that if you were self-sufficient, if you, going back to what Cato said, in these times, in order to get by, you need to have your own business, or you need to be working to help build somebody's legacy, then you too would see, y'all, this is what's going on. Now, the brain drain right now is America's AI talent pipeline is shrinking. It's shrinking. The number of scholars moving to the U.S. has dropped 89% since 2017, including an 80% drop just in the past year. AI is here. AI is here, right? Hey, Jennifer Prince, thank you so much for joining this morning. Grand Rising to you, Queen. Thank you so much for the support. AI is here. Ken Dow 44 is here. So let me read you an article. AI models and high impact patents, while China leads in publication volume, citations, and patent output in industrial robot installations. Now on high.stanford.edu, You can read. The U.S. is home to the most AI researchers and developers of any country by far. But y'all, and here's where it gets tricky. The flow of these experts in the country is dramatically slowing, meaning people aren't coming here. People aren't coming to America. The number of AI scholars moving to the United States has dropped 89% since 2017. The decline is accelerating, down 80% in the last year alone. AI continues to expand its capabilities, hitting higher scores on the benchmark across types, but not all capabilities are evenly distributed, which is why you see so many AI models. Some people are using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It truly depends on what you are using AI for. If you are a musician, an artist, you may be using AI for other things. Other areas that have been, oh, hang on one second, y'all. I done lost my train of thought. Again, I'm reading this from high.stanford.edu. Frontier models now meet or exceed human capabilities on items like PhD level science questions. People, again, I told y'all, before I go to the doctor or while I'm there, I'm going in my chart as those tests. I've done this for my uncles to help overstand and to make sure that I can fully comprehend what's going on with my family members. So as I'm in the emergency room or I go to the doctor, I'm looking at these test results, I'm putting it in AI. Describe this for me. Act as a medical doctor and describe this for me in a visual format so that I can understand. Again, full disclaimer, do not confer with your doctor and just leave it to AI. Don't do that, y'all. I don't want y'all saying that Green over on Green Links World Media, World Entertainment said that I can use AI to help me determine what may be going on with me. I ain't say that. Use it as a tool. Use it as a tool. But not all capabilities are evenly distributed. Frontier models now meet or exceed human capabilities on items like PhD level science questions. I was able to take a diagnosis that my uncle had, and I was able to talk with the doctor and fully understand and also suggest other alternatives. Because a lot of times we go in there, we don't have a doctorate. I don't have a doctorate. I don't know what's going on. On top of me not having a doctorate, I can't just read something and fully understand it. My reading comprehension has always been a struggle, but I love to read. I needed visuals to help me understand some of what's going on. So again, that's now being replaced. Other areas that have been performing poorly saw huge growth. For example, the success rates of agents handling real-world tasks improved from 20% in 2025 to 77.3% today, according to Terminal Bench, while AI agents handling cybersecurity issues solve problems 93% of the time compared to 15% of the time in 2024. AI is evolving. How people are using AI is also evolving. And if you are not using AI alongside with your everyday functions, then you are going to be left behind, right? Tracy over here said entrepreneurship is taught at an early age in China and other world countries, yet in America, we haven't even taught our children how to cook in the kitchen properly until they're teenagers. Miana went on to say the Simpsons predicted a lot. Yes, they did. I agree. Going back to what Tracy said and kind of fitting into what we're saying, what we're talking about with the AI, this is not being readily taught in our schools, and it's something that needs to be taught. Entrepreneurship is also not taught because we have a prison, what is it, the school to prison pipeline? Look into it, y'all. Look into it. Even the way we go into school, how we have to line up, that time getting us ready. I also feel that school gets you prepared to work in real life work situations, jobs, because it teaches you to be disciplined, going to school every day the same way you have to go to work every day. The hours, you'll have lunch breaks, all of that is taught. It's taught. What else? I do, y'all. I can't see all of what's going on over here on Facebook. If you can head on over to our YouTube page to just keep up because it's not giving me any love over here. Cato said, due to my personal health, I had to move towards holistic healing and teaches detox people detox. True. Hey, Jelani, Grand Rising. Thank you so much for joining this morning and welcome back. Welcome back. So times are changing, Mateus. Times are definitely changing. The way we absorb and the way and what we do with our bodies is definitely changing. Tracy said, you want, it says slow connection. You want company for a set, queen? Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? If you can, come on over to TikTok or Instagram because over here on Facebook, it's not working too well. You can come on over here to Instagram. Instagram seems to be working pretty well. I would love you to come in. I can actually send you a link. Don't get me started, queen. You can come on over here on Facebook with me. I mean, let me see if this is how you send the link. Yeah. I'm going to copy this link and I'm actually going to send it to you on Facebook. So hop on in. And if there's anybody else that want to come in, Tom, if there's anybody else that want to come in and join the conversation, please feel free to do so. I do not mind at all. Why is it trying to? I just want to send this. I just want to send this link. I just want to send this link. Martin had a dream. Martin had a dream. All right, love. I sent it to you on Facebook. So come on in the room. Come on in the room. So what do y'all think about Cardi B making history? She made herstory, sold out concerts. What do y'all think about this? Because remember, I don't know if y'all were seeing all the hate that people were giving Cardi. And I don't even know why people were giving hate like this to Cardi. LV Paulino. Let's see. LV Paulino, thank you so much for joining over here on TikTok. Not right now, LV, but continue to come back and maybe, you can pull up one time and join the conversation over here with the listeners of the Vet Green Show. Oh, there, I hear you. Hey, Queen, come on in.
Queen, good morning. Hello. I gotta hold my phone, so I can't do the whole heart, but to everybody, Grand Rising. I said I'm up early and prepared. She may want to see my beautiful face.
I do want to see your beautiful face. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for always supporting. How are you doing today?
I am blessed and highly favored. And when you said China, I said, I want to talk.
Yes. What do you think? Do you think, going back to what I was saying, do you think that we need to stop playing with China as if they like these little weights because they heavyweights in this game?
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, guys.
Over there.
Ooh, you know what? And as you were speaking on the models, that I wanted to comment on that. They had such a high rate of professional models in the year of 2000, between the years of 2005 and 2015, of just professional full models. Okay, before USA became with the Tyra Banks, all of the Eves, all of that. Then now they're coming with the AI models, okay, in comparison, the same way they did with the human models. So we are way far behind, okay. I'm like that. That's why I made the comment. They're making the Jetsons look real small.
Right? Yes. It feels like everybody. It feels like the Jetsons, like we are living in that age right now. And I talked about, now let me ask you this. You have young grandbabies. How would you feel if Pretty P, the grandbaby, was
Prosperity
with a robot? How would you feel about that? Like, I'm kind of freaked out about this. I don't know.
Honestly, One, because she's the rambunctious grandchild. She's the one that's like kind of like me, the outspoken. I have to say what I have to say. To see her personality in a robot, I would probably detize that robot.
Let me shut this robot off. Miss
Okay,
Parker, let me shut this robot
yeah,
off.
you gotta go sit down. Yes,
I
yes,
feel
ma'am.
it's coming, though. I feel like it's coming. Like I'm seeing the way AI is evolving, and I'm
Hmm.
looking at like they have the robotic dog. That's what's going around. You go into
Yes.
BJ's right now. And this robot can talk to you. BJ's, there's a robot right now taking inventory,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking to myself, we're gonna see some RTD2s going around in about 10 years. We're going to see
Yes.
more and more of that, Hunter Collins. Hey, Hayes, thank you so much. Mad Max Yutt, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I feel like that's going to be happening with this,
Yes.
with this onset of AI. Now, let me ask you this as well. Cardi B, what do you think about Cardi B? Before this concert, there was
Hmm.
so much haterade. It seemed like people
Hmm.
just wanted her to lose. All in her
Hmm.
business about Stefan Diggs and Offset. I feel like
Hmm.
one, she's so young to have gone through what she's gone through. On top of this, to have a brand new baby with a
Hmm.
man who's obviously sticking and picking, amongst
Everything.
the litter. Okay, with all of these babies.
Yes.
But I always try and put myself in their shoes and think about how would I feel. I know how I felt in my late 30s, early 40s to be going through
Mhm.
a divorce and going through a similar situation, but I don't have the means that she has. What do you think
Correct.
about that? Because right now she just literally made history. She made history. Do
Mhm.
you think it's like big ups to Cardi?
I I'm a Cardi B fan now. When she
Mm-hmm.
first came out, I have to say I saw her struggles and I didn't really know which way she was going to turn because her attitude was I will get in where I fit in because I am a queen. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I did that personality began to grow on me because I somewhat have that personality. I don't fit in where I get in, I own it. Okay, so when she
Ooh,
began, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
that.
So when she began to have that maturity of y'all not gonna stop me. I don't care how many children I have, how many
Mm-hmm.
baby daddies didn't spit on me. I don't swear, so I don't curse. How many
Mm-hmm.
spit on me? I am still going to be successful. Excuse me, guys, even with my bubble butt. Okay,
Even with
and
my ain't gonna
yes,
talk about
ma'am.
getting this bubble butt out of me. I love Cardi because she's so
I love
real.
her. Yes. So and what's happening, and let's talk on this real quick, that what's happening is she's kind of showing, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat, guys. She's kind of showing our young ladies who are coming up in the music world and trying to make it look, y'all seen what I have been through. And now you see where I am. You can
Mm-hmm.
do it too. But
Mm-hmm.
ladies, take an example from her and not do it so risque and so rough. Cardi, yes, she's known to drop it like it's hot, but now in her maturity after these babies, she like, okay, my knees hurt a little bit. I can't just be spreading myself all over the place. I
Okay.
can be sexy,
And
but I ain't
I,
gotta be doing all that dropping and shaking and
yes,
this and
and I
that.
love
Yeah.
the costumes. So right
Oh, I
now,
love them.
Cardi B recently made history as having a 100% sold out concert. She became the first and only female rapper in history to have a
Hmm.
completely sold out arena tour, 35 out of 35 shows, highest average revenue, doubling her previous record where she averaged only about 2 million per show. Only about 2. Just give me 2 million. 2
Just give
million
me
per
two.
show. her day,
Yes.
her debut dominance, her sophomore album, Am I the Drama in 2025 made her the first female rapper to have her first two studio albums debut at #1. Now I talked about Cardi's album. I loved
Hmm.
it. What I did have
Hmm.
to say is that I feel that Cardi B has made such an impact on the culture just being herself, not just removing the music. She's just made such an impact just being herself. But I feel that she's one of the stronger rappers? No, I don't.
No,
And that's just
no.
my honest opinion.
Mine too.
Does she
Mine too.
have talent? Absolutely. Because she's going, like you said, she's going to make it her own. What did you say a little while ago? I'm going to make it my own. She makes it her own. And that's what I love about her. I feel like you don't always have to be the best at it. Just make your own lane. She's been able to make her own lane and stay in that lane. She's losing it out with or without a man. With these men trying to dog her out. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
An example.
And the good thing about it, and ladies, and this we're talking about this in the entertainment world, and the good and the sad thing for us is she has the money, but let's not forget the importance. The importance is she worked for that money. She had to go through to get to that money. So when you're living in an unidealistic world, hello, you like that?
Yeah,
where substance is not just where substance is not just available to us, and we have to go in and do the work and research the work. That's our prize, queen. That's when we know we are capable of becoming like Cardi, because we had to dig deep to make all of these funds come up. And, this is why I commend you so much, and taking the time out, investigating your work, researching your work, making sure you give the viewers the best quality of news that you can. So when they go back to check the research, it's accurate. Hello.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. I take this serious, DJ T-Rock. Okay, I take this serious over here to Sheila Carter. I take this serious. Okay. Kato said, Cardi is becoming an icon. I agree. She is definitely becoming a cultural icon. And she's also like regular schmegular. That comes from Cardi B.
Yes.
When I say that's definitely, that is a cultural impact that she has made on on the culture.
Yes.
Now I want to take let's pivot a little bit and move into Buffalo. This Jaylen Griffin case, the young man that had went missing. I do not get what is going on there. How did you go from Broadway on the east side of Buffalo into South Buffalo? And how is this happening? So Jaylen Griffin, for those of you who may not know, Jaylen Griffin was just 12 years old when he disappeared in August of 2020 after leaving his house on Warren Avenue near the Central Terminal. Now, the Central Terminal is near the Broadway area. Now, this is miles away from where he was actually found. Nearly 4 years later, on April 15th, 2024, his body was discovered in an attic of a house on Sheffield Avenue, about 5 miles in South Buffalo. That's a distance, y'all. How 5 miles may not seem like a lot, but that's a lot if you're on feet. And how is it that Sheffield Avenue it's off of South Park? Like this is a busy area. No one saw anything, is my question. 12 years old, this young man was found in the attic. 4 years later, Jaylen's mother had passed away just months before his body was found, and his grandmother has since moved away, unable to continue living near the site of his disappearance. I can't even imagine leaving this earth and not knowing what has happened to my child. Police say the investigation remains open and they've made progress, but don't yet have a specific suspect. They're asking anyone with even small tips to contact the tip line or Crime Stoppers. The bottom line is this tragic case still lacks closure, and the community members are desperate for answers. People like Bury the Violence, Karima Morris has been actively working with this. She was pivotal in making sure that this case remains open. What are your thoughts on this? Just like being in and around this area, what are your thoughts on that?
It's scary. That's my thoughts. That is my thought and my feeling and my heart as I even was listening. 12 years of age is a pivotal age, okay, because it's on the borderline of teenager. All right. Unfortunately, our parents are, especially some of them have become a little lackadaisical of our whereabouts of our children.
Yeah.
So now, if you would have said 5 or 6, I do believe maybe some of our citizens might have been a little bit more accuracy on alerting, like, why is this 5-year-old walking around? But that when you're 12, between the ages of 12 and 15, to see a teenager or a young man walking, a person is not really going to pay attention.
Not
I'm
think
sorry
twice
to
about
say.
it, especially you like that age, that preteen, that 12. Hey, that burger dude. I'm gonna call you after this. If you can talk, call me. Um, One thing, and growing up where we come from, a lot of times we are seen as older than we really are. And it's because
Correct.
we have to mature a lot of times, a
Mhm.
lot more quicker than our counterparts. It's so tragic that this could happen. And to think,
Mhm.
people in that area, the neighbors, no one
Mhm.
heard or said anything. And in
Nothing.
my head, y'all, and I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. That area is not all that welcoming of people who look like you and I.
Us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's that same area that it's kind of it's not the Lovejoy area, but it's going like Casanova Park is right there.
Mhm.
And I can remember years ago, y'all, this is again, just to talk about how segregated it is here. My god brother, he had gotten jumped over there. Now, mind you, my
Oh.
god brother is mixed. He's black and white. Yeah. But
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
they looked at him as just as black male, and what are you over here doing? He's going over there
Yes.
to see his girlfriend over near
Mhm.
Cass Park in that same
Mhm.
area.
Mhm.
Was not welcome. You still have that element in that area. You still have that element in that area.
Yes, you do.
Sheffield is not one of those areas that you would see a lot of people that look like you and I. There's still a lot of owners in that area.
Yes, ma'am.
There's also renters in that area. But my question to those of you who live in that area, did you truly not see or hear anything, or are you choosing to remain silent because of
Mm.
the color of his skin? That's my
Mm.
question.
That's a
Honestly,
good
that's my question.
question. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then
Well,
we have
prayers go out to their families, definitely.
Mhm. And
Mhm.
then lastly, DA John Flynn, you know, on the political front, Tonawanda Town Councilwoman Jill
Mhm.
O'Malley, who initially considered seeking the town supervisor seat being vacated by Joe Eminger, now says she's backing former Erie County District Attorney John Flynn for his role. She told she told Buffalo Toronto Public Media that Flynn impressed her by asking a lot of great questions to get a clear idea of some of the largest things facing the town. Now, right now, I'm not sure if you know, DA John Flynn has been accused of some things by, I believe it's a cousin, when they were
Mhm.
younger. Let me just bring this up. Uh, I believe it's a cousin. So the primary controversy is that there's allegations of personal misconduct and accusations of professional inconsistency. In April of 2025, Flynn's younger cousin, Ryan Flynn, filed a police report alleging that John Flynn essayed him on 2 occasions when he was approximately 10 years old. Now, John
Mhm.
Flynn is denying these allegations. Um, when it comes to essay and graping or anything like that,
Mhm.
it's definitely a touchy subject. And if you need to move away, that's fine. I
Mhm.
do think that, I don't, it does not say, or I have not found, how old John Flynn was apparently at this age. But I do know that this happens quite frequently within families, within
Yes.
households. Children are experimenting, and
Mhm.
sometimes that experimentation leads to trauma
Yes.
for those people. On one hand, like that's why that Tasiki and Krishan beef really that is sad to me because the
Mhm.
emotions, the allegations that Tasiki had done something to Krishan and the age
Mhm.
difference, like that happens. That happens quite
Mhm.
often in families, especially when you have large families. That happens. I would say to this young man that if this is something that happened, I hope that he is seeking help
Mm.
to,
First.
seeking help. Yeah. What
Mm.
what are your what are your thoughts on that? Um, has it been your
Um,
experience that this has happened with
and,
that you
and that's actually something that I actually deal with, and I have to work with more so ladies than I have men. But
yeah.
yes, domestic violence in the home, family home, sexual assaults
Yeah.
on younger women between the ages of like even 3 to 10
Oh,
that
yeah.
have experienced that and didn't know what it was until they have gotten older and then wonder why they were so promiscuous, why they always felt they had to have in a mature way of a sexual desire needs all of the time. And, you know, then they say they would piece back things. Oh, I remember this and I remember being touched, but I don't know by whom. And then later in life, it would reveal to them whom and when, and then they're devastated.
Yeah.
Okay. And then their testimony becomes so saddened and so because now their mind is messed up because they can't believe it was their uncle or the brother
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
sister.
Yeah.
Guys,
Sister,
let's be
brother,
deep.
yeah.
Let's
It
be deep here. Yeah.
mhm.
So in that essence, the first step for that is definitely counseling, definitely help. And then oh, it's so sad. Father God, you have to have acceptance. I have to say this, viewers,
Mhm. Mm.
acceptance is a very important key because if you live in denial, and even though you know this existed and you keep denying it and say, no, no, this couldn't happen to me. This is just, okay, maybe it did, but oh well. If you do the oh well, you're going to be stuck. You will be trapped in a box.
Mm.
Okay. And that box becomes insecurity. And then
Mm.
insecurity leads into depression. And
Mhm.
depression leads into self-failure. So
Mm.
acceptance and getting help is the first step. And then
Yeah.
comes healing. You have to
Mm.
heal. And in the healing process is forgiveness. And that's a big, big step.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
it's it's sad, but it can be fixable. It's I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of promising African American women who have been through it. I am blessed to have had shared their stories. I've never had to deal with anything personal like that, but the empathy that I have for them, I can place myself in their mental and come down and relate to them and say, you know what? This makes you even more beautiful. This
Yes.
makes you even more great.
And it
Yeah.
does. And
Mhm.
if you look at the statistics, everyone, the statistics are just mind-boggling. 1 out of every 3 to 4 women.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
And at one point, it was 1 out of every 1 to 9 males, because
Mhm.
we do have our males who are also SA as well as females, and many
Mhm.
times it's familial. It's through
Mhm.
family contact, and that's
Mhm.
something that is one of the hardest
Mhm.
traumas to
Hardest.
overcome, but it is
Yeah.
something, it's possible, it's possible, and I
Yeah.
applaud anybody out there who has been victimized and you came forward. Good for you.
And
I
may I
applaud
open this bag? That
anybody.
please, may I open this bag?
Mhm,
Viewers, this day and age, 2026, on this subject, please keep an eye out for our disabled children. What am
mhm.
I saying, Teresa? Our autistic children, our nonverbal children, our children who can't talk. Okay.
Yes,
Things like this could happen to them and they are traumatized and they can't tell us. Okay,
yes,
teach them sign language, teach them the no sign, teach them the do not. Make sure they understand what is right and wrong, even non-verbally, because we've had cases like that. The child is so traumatized they don't want to be touched, and you have no idea why because they can't speak that. They can't
yeah,
tell you I'm hurting. They can't tell you somebody touched me.
mm,
So their reaction is always froze up or tensed or this or that. So yes, parents, be alert with your children that know their signs of anger, hurt, pain, happiness,
yes,
everything. And
and
be careful who you take them around,
yes,
please. Please,
You really
please.
have to be careful and know that many times kids are not just acting out just because they're trying to act out. It's because they are trying to deal with something that's going on in their life and they're not sure how to deal with it. So we have to be supportive of these kids as they are coming up. We have
Yes,
to be
thank
supportive
you.
of them. You spoke
Mhm.
about so Terrell Carter. Do you watch Beauty in Black, the show on BET? Terrell
Girl,
Carter.
do I? Yes,
That
yes.
that's how he came into this world. His mom was
Mhm.
11 years old,
Mhm.
disabled. I believe she was learning disabled as well.
Just
She only
learn.
had one
Mhm.
leg, and
Mhm.
she was um abused by a family member. And that's how
Mhm.
he came to be. She was only
Mhm.
11 years old and she was
Yes.
abused by the family member. And that's how she came to be. So I agree. We have to be mindful and we have to be supportive of these kids. Just know that they aren't just acting out, y'all.
Mm.
They are not just acting out. Many times it's because they are dealing with some things in their life. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, Queen, for joining me this
Thank
morning. I'm going to start
you.
sending you the link. I'm going to start
Yes,
sending you the
please
link.
do. I'll
And
be
you
up
can
in the
go
mornings and then I say, "Oh, my girl on, I want to
yes. I'm challenging
chat."
myself to get on here every morning by 8:05 a.m. Y'all. So I
Okay.
love y'all.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining me this morning. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Queen, for joining me. I'm
Thank
going to set the
you.
show up for tomorrow and send you the link. And if
Okay.
anybody out there would like to join the conversation and come on live with me, just let me know. Raise your hand, send me a DM. Say I'd like to go live. I'll let you know what we're going to be talking about, and come in and join the conversation. So even if you are not watching with me now, I pray that you watch with me later and subscribe, follow, like, and share because we are coming. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you to the beautiful Haja. Is it Haja Robertson? How do you pronounce it? Is it
Ha- it's Haja. Haja.
Haja? Haja
Haja.
Robertson. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Haja, for joining me today. And I want to thank everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day on purpose. You know why? You know why? Because God said we can. Love you long
Yes. Bye-bye. Peace.
life.
This is a Green Links Media production. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the bell to be reminded when we go live.